All right. One, two, three. What's going on, guys? GregglesTV. Welcome to TekBloid episode number 17. We do this every single Thursday around 3 p.m. Pacific, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes or usually a little later, so keep that in mind. Michael Tobin was off on assignment this week, so he's not going to be able to do TekBloid this week, so I have a very good we found him because he found us, I guess, and now he's filling in, and he's got his own YouTube channel, so make sure you check it out. I will link it in the description down below. Mr. Joel Rivera. Joel, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Joel Rivera. You can find my website at texers.com. You can look me up on YouTube, Texers, and I enjoy just answering tech questions, and that's the main reason why I started following TekBloid, and it's a pleasure to actually finally participate in one of his shows on a live
Hell
feed.
yeah.
So I like to thank you first and foremost, Greggles, and obviously Mike Tobin, Initial Focus. Thank you specifically for giving me the opportunity.
No problem, man. Awesome. Look at that. Byron's in here. Brian's in here. So, yeah. So, what we're going to talk about today is we got a bunch of stories. We have Google's October 4th event is coming up, obviously, on October 4th, where they're going to announce a slew of products. The Blackberry DTEK 60, which is one of the first Blackberry phones to be released, not made by Blackberry. Google Allo, they've reached some milestones, and also the OnePlus 4 specs. I know their OnePlus 3 was just released, but the OnePlus 4 is right around the corner within probably 8 or 9 months now. And why not talk specs, especially if that stuff's out there? So the first story we'll talk about is the Blackberry DTEK 60. Now, it's not going to be the first phone not made by Blackberry, because I know there was another phone, I believe, and I can't remember it because I'm not a huge Blackberry fan. But the Blackberry DTEK 60 is spec'd to hell. It's basically an Idle 4S skinned over with Blackberry software. So what do you think about it? Because you were the one that actively found this story. I know you brought this up because in my daily news show you were talking about that BlackBerry is not going to no longer make their hardware, which is the end of an era. But at the same time, they're moving into this new era where they're having third-party manufacturers make their phone. What do you think about that? First off, of BlackBerry not making phones, and then what do you think about the specs for this phone so far?
Well, it's a sad day, first and foremost, for BlackBerry fans out there. I always wanted a BlackBerry phone, never had the opportunity to get them because they were expensive. Now, this was basically the first smartphone when you look back into the cell phone's history. So BlackBerry now leaving the hardware market is definitely a sad day for smartphones. But this phone, I want you guys to look at it. The question is, what's the price going to be, which I really couldn't find anything on that. But the specs that we do know for sure is a Snapdragon 820, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage with micro SD slot. I do not know up to what. I'm hoping at least 128 for the micro SD slot.
Yeah.
21 megapixel rear facing camera, which is supposed to be doing 4K 30 frames per second video, and a 8 megapixel front facing camera with a 3000 milliamp hour battery. Now, all in all, it sounds like a great phone. The question is, what's the price going to be? Because if it's too expensive, there's no need.
It won't be. It's got to me. It's. I think the Idle 4S was like $300 or something. I can't imagine this being anything more than that. If it is, it's just because you're buying BlackBerry's name with BlackBerry software. Let me. It's Amazon. Shoot, I'm having trouble. Why doesn't that come up? I thought you could buy this in America. I guess you can't. It doesn't look like in Europe it's 460 pounds or something like that, which actually would be really expensive here. To me, the specs are kind of middle of the road. I know you get a 1440p screen, a Snapdragon 820, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigs of storage. But the problem is with this is that you can get a OnePlus 3 for $399, which you and I both know is an amazingly fast, solid phone that works in, yeah, you've got it, I have it. And it's a really nice phone, and it doesn't have a 1440 screen, but besides that, it either meets or pretty much beats this phone in almost every other regard. And I would personally rather have a OnePlus 3 phone over a BlackBerry phone, especially the way BlackBerry's going these days, where they're not, BlackBerry's not even going like this, they're going like that. And even them still having the ability to outsource their phones and put their software onto these other phones, it's still running Android. It's not really anything special to me. I don't see myself wanting this phone. I mean, to me, it's upper middle tier. I wouldn't call it upper tier. I wouldn't call it middle of the road. In some regards, it is middle. In some regards, it's an upper class phone. But I can't see myself getting excited enough to buy this. I know you probably won't buy it either. But if you say you didn't have a OnePlus 3, what would make you buy this phone?
I don't think it's for me because being a tech enthusiast, but I think it might be, or I would say, the government will be looking at probably purchasing a lot of these phones, which is what BlackBerry has gotten really good at, is preparing these government phones.
Yeah.
And I think that's the market they're still going to go after. So I don't think that BlackBerry is going to change its market. What they're trying to do is save costs by using basically the frames of other phones and just put in their software, like you just said. So will it be for me? No. And that's because I want powerhouse phones. I want the fastest, the best display. I want everything in a one package. This is why I initially wanted the Note 7 over the OnePlus 3.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, it's nice to see BlackBerry is not completely giving up, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to do anything that's going to change the market or change their fortunes for a positive. So I guess we'll see how they turn out ultimately. There we go, ultimately. But I don't think that it's going to be anything special. Guys, if you want to chat, there is a chat room. Ask us questions in there. We will answer the questions in the middle of the show, actually, as we do these stories. So feel free to ask questions in there. If you guys want to call, we'll open the phone lines towards the end of the show. The phone number you can text or call, and you can text it now if you want, or you can call and leave a voicemail. The phone number is 619-721-3699. It's right on the screen below my face. So make sure you call it if you want. Next up, OnePlus 4 specs. OnePlus 4, as you know, is not out yet, but the OnePlus 3 is. And the OnePlus 3 just came out, 2-3 months ago, maybe? Has it even been that long? And It has been that long. So the OnePlus 4 is already revving up to, rumors are coming out about its specs. Now, why don't you run down the specs for us and let's discuss.
So what I did find about the OnePlus 4, 8 gigs of RAM.
Ridiculous.
256 of storage. Not so ridiculous because obviously with the Note 7 you can get the 64 plus the up to 256 of the.
I can't mute
micro
that.
SD slot.
I'm like on their site and it's playing a friggin' ad. I'm gonna close it because it's probably gonna play.
Mute the tab.
I opened it up in Edge and now it closed on me. Whatever.
Greggles, that's your first mistake. You can't be using
No, I
Edge.
only use Edge from. I have to use multiple browsers because I have multiple Gmail accounts. Whatever. So before you go on with the specs, 250. What kind of surprises me about phones right now is that they even have 256 gigabytes of storage, because I feel like you kind of don't need that much storage now. I mean, you back up all your photos and videos on the cloud. All your music is in the cloud as well. You're streaming it. Sometimes you download it like a playlist or so. But how often are you not without internet that you actually need all that storage? I don't think you do. I think
4K.
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 Yeah, but
as in 4K videos. That's the real reason why you need that much memory. I mean, probably the average person is not going to be doing 4K videos. I agreed. But if you are a person who likes to do 4K videos and you want the high quality, you want those high quality videos, then you definitely need a phone that can support that. I'm actually have only 20 gigabytes left. And
oh yeah, I know. I ran out of storage on that pretty quick too, actually.
yeah, so I mean, 64 a couple of years ago, I used to thought that 64 was amazing. And we're already coming to an age where 64 is starting to
It
get
is. You're right. Or it needs
starting
that.
not.
It needs the micro SD card. Guys, thanks for joining the chat. Just before we jump more into the OnePlus 4, Darren, no, I do not work in the tech world. I used to be in tech support, but I don't do that anymore. I'm in marketing now. Draco PND, are the OnePlus 4 specs official or speculations? Draco, they're pretty much speculations, right? So we don't do anything real on here. Everything we're talking about is speculations. I'm just kidding. But yes, that is a speculation. Is this the new DoD smartphone, Department of Defense smartphone? I think you already answered that for your buddy Brian. You pretty much did.
It's not official. It's not official that they bought that phone, but I think that's the market they're going to go for. And I don't mean just the United States military. I mean, Canadian military and other government phones. So it's not just the United States government. But yes, I think they are intended. BlackBerry is definitely still going to be intended for the government because it has always been a mark for security. That's one thing that BlackBerry has always stood for is, to be a secure phone. And yes, the OnePlus 4, I will say it's not official. It's speculations, and I think it's a wish list that some people are trying to do. Now, why is it coming out now? Because of the fiasco that the Note 7 has caused, Samsung has already started leaking their S8 specs, and I think so that people don't just automatically jump onto Samsung's phone. I think OnePlus is trying to also, leak out certain things or at least test the waters because 8 gigs of RAM, I still don't believe that's going to be true. I think they're going to stick with 6 gigs of RAM at least.
I think it will be actually.
You think?
Yeah, because there's I can't think of the manufacturer. They always put, like last year they were the first phone to have they were the first phone to have an 820 processor, and they did it like a month or two before anybody else. And now they're doing the 821, and they're having 8 gigs of RAM on their phone this year. So no doubt the next OnePlus 3 phone will have 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has to have a 2K display because now they're always, it seems like some of the stuff they cut back on is like the camera's good, but it's just not as good as like Samsung's, I feel. The screens are a little less than Samsung's. So they'll be at 2K next year, and then Samsung's going to jump up to 4K. So I think that the RAM is very cheap, I think, when you put it into a phone. So 8 gigabytes of RAM, I can definitely see it happening. And especially when they have a 2K screen, because 2K screens are very resource intensive. So you'll have the latest processor. You'll have 8 gigabytes of RAM. Storage, I don't think they're going to have 256 gigabytes of storage. I think they'll have I bet you'll have about 128. And I think this is going to be the first time they're going to put in an SD card, I think. Wireless charging. I don't know if they say that in the article, but I don't think they're going to have that either. I honestly don't know. I don't know if you've ever used wireless charging. I have it, and I never use it because to me, no matter what wireless charger I've had, except for one of them, it's always been a little bit of pain in the butt to get that thing to charge. I've always had to angle it a little bit, no matter what. Have the phone be naked with no case, with a case. It's always been a pain in my butt, so I've never really got into it. And plus, when I use my phone, I like to hold it and still have it charged in, because you can still move it around. When it's wirelessly charging, if you want to use the phone, you have to use it while it's pressed up against the wireless charger. And if you move it slightly, a lot of the time it comes undone from the wireless charging. So I actually do not like wireless charging.
So what I've done with wireless charging, or the way I've always used it, is basically, for example, if I am engaged in doing something else, whether it's watching TV or whatnot, I would just have it by my side on the wireless charger, so it's continuously charging. And then when I want to go check anything, whether it's notifications, if my wife's texting me or whatnot, I'll look, text back, and then put it right back on the charger. And yeah, I agree with you. Wireless charging, it is a cool feature. It's not the feature that you need. I still don't think that OnePlus is going to go and add that. Well, I mean, they did have it for the OnePlus 2. Maybe they'll have the microSD slot expansion.
They should. I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense why they don't, because they have the dual SIM, which I did a video recently on, which is actually really cool because I never thought about. I mean, I know you could do two different cell companies at the same time, but like you can literally do, one on for voice, one for data, and just be done with it. I was kind of thinking the way it worked was you would have to pick between the two to do everything. But this way, that phone, you can actually have one for just phone calls and one for data and that. I think that's awesome. But I would love to see a third or just a separate slot for the SD card.
Now, the OnePlus has added 2 slots for a reason, because the international users. Samsung also has their Duos brand, internationally. And it's because in a lot of places, you buy your phone SIM card, and then you have a data SIM card, because data being
the dog. Someone rang the bell. Sorry, it's UPS.
It's all right. My wife will probably like it that it's a schnauzer.
Yeah, I have 2 schnauzers.
Just a side note. Let's get back to tech. Anyways,
I'll mute it while you talk.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, Greggles.
It's okay. So it's cool that you're talking about the SD card and why they have 2 slots.
Right. Okay. So internationally, and I've traveled internationally because of my job. Definitely having a dual SIM card phone has its perks, and it's definitely for the international market. I don't see why they wouldn't add the micro SD slot, but I could see why, just to save money, why OnePlus would actually stop using the micro SD slot.
Yes. The beauty of OnePlus is that they always do updates. They always, I feel like they do the right thing by what the people ask for. I think some of the shortcomings of from the OnePlus 3 to the OnePlus 1 to the OnePlus 2, they fixed with the OnePlus 3. I think still people would love to see wireless charging, but I think I feel like they do things for the greater good, or the greater amount of people that will use it. They don't just throw features in there just to throw features in there. Like Samsung, when you buy a Samsung phone, like especially the higher tiered phones like the Note 7 and the S7, S7 Edge, sometimes I feel like they kind of just put every feature in there to say it has anything you want. It has an SD card, has wireless charging, it has the fastest processor, it doesn't have the most RAM, even though they should have put more RAM in it. It has a million software features, but I feel like OnePlus 3 makes a phone that anybody can just pick up and use and tweak in any way they want and be happy with it, because they can make the phone what they want it to be. And I think once OnePlus 3, which they're already starting to do in the UK, go into stores, Best Buys, stores like that, because I don't think they'll ever make it to a carrier, and I don't want to see them get to a carrier, because then carrier bloatware is going to be on there. But I can't wait till they're in Best Buy and stores like that, and people can just go there and buy a $300-$400 phone and be out and be like, this is freaking amazing, and I don't have to spend $800 or spend $30 a month for the next 2 years or a year. I can have a phone that just works awesome. So
I think Jeroni mentioned wireless charging is great for overnight charging instead of having a cable plugged in all night.
It is. That is one thing I do like about it, is to, like, sometimes when I'm sleepy and I don't want to have to turn all the way over and find the cable and plug it in, I could literally just go like this, reach next to my bed and plug it in or set it up on the wireless charger, and it works perfect. Anything else you wanted to add to the OnePlus 4 story before we move on?
Nothing. It's not official just yet, but definitely something to keep our eyes open.
Yes. So if you guys want to subscribe to Joel Rivera, he's doing a great job so far. His link for his channel is in the description down below, so make sure you subscribe. He's just starting off. He does have some videos, and he's going to get started up again. He does it now, but he had to take a little bit of a break, but he will be gearing up a lot more and a lot more often on his channel in the very, very, very near future. So get on board now if you can. Tobin will be back next week. If you did not see, we did a video last night. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post the same. He put the video on his channel, but I'm going to post the same video on my channel. And we just did a little comparison of the Note 7 low light features versus camera versus the iPhone 7 Plus low light, and you can see which one came out on top. Which one do you think actually won? We know, no bias.
Actually, I did like some of the iPhone's pictures, especially the first one. I didn't like the blowouts of the lights. Now,
Yeah.
granted, that was seeing it through you know, through the screen, my
Uh-huh.
screen. So I'm pretty sure it looked differently when you guys had it in the computer right there. But definitely, to be honest, they do and he was right about one thing, that you can manipulate the photos
Yeah.
afterwards, and if you probably did, the iPhone could probably come out with a better altogether photos. But you can definitely tell that the Note 7 was able to capture more light and able to give a little bit more, and especially in that flower picture, you could most definitely see that the Note 7 was far better than the iPhone 7. Sorry,
So
Tobin.
let's right. Let me jump to the text so far. So we have a text from a lovely young lady who says, "Schnauzers are the best dogs ever. Best part of the show." This is Joel's wife. Sorry, but I have no clue what you two are talking about. I'm not a techie. Great show and very entertaining. Anything you want to say to her?
I love you, honey. Actually, those who don't know, she's actually in the location because I'm about to leave the army. So I'm here finishing up my time in Hawaii while she's in Maryland. So we're actually been a couple of months apart.
Oh wow. So wait,
Yeah.
are you gonna? So right now you're in Hawaii, right? Or no? Okay, so
Yep.
where
Yep.
you're gonna move to Maryland? Okay, are you
Yes.
originally from
East
there?
Coast. I'm an Army brat. I would say I'm originally from Puerto Rico more
Okay.
than Maryland, but I did grow up in Maryland too.
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm from the East Coast too. I'm
Yeah.
from Boston, so we got that. And so is Tobin. Tobin's Ohio. I mean, I guess you could call him Midwest, but it's close enough to the East Coast that it's can be considered from the East. We got on some more another text here. He didn't put his name, but he's asking about the iPhone. He's saying, "What do you think about the iPhone having a 2K display like its competitors, Samsung?" Now, I think they're going to do it next phone. I actually think the next phone is actually going to go crazy with specs in terms of screen, camera. The processor, I don't think they probably need to go too much crazier on. But I think the camera again and the screen especially is where they're really going to go wild on. What do you have you ever had an iPhone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually every other year I switch from iPhone to Android. I guess this is my Android year. Something that my wife actually hates. She probably wishes that I just stick with
iPhone.
Apple's iPhone. Um, but yeah, next year most definitely I do expect to see 2K. But you mentioned earlier Samsung is probably going to come out with a 4K.
Yeah.
And from if the rumors are correct already, the S8 apparently is going to come out with 4K. Now the only issue I think that the 4K display will have, if it does not have enough memory, or if they do not fix their RAM management issues that they have, it's gonna have issues. It's just gonna look slow, or they may have to do it like they what was the Sony Xperia Z, the Z Sony Xperia Z, how they had to just use the 4K display for video only, and then the regular use was the 2K display.
I don't
So
think I think the iPhone will be fast no matter what. They're not. I don't think they would ever release a phone that was crappy and laggy and without having to be able to fix it. What's up, Captain? I think that when they do release this phone, having a 2K screen will make a lot of people happy. I know when my wife looks at, she used to be a big iPhone person and she still likes it, but she has a Note 7 and her coworker just showed her his iPhone 7 Plus and she looked at his and the first thing she said to me was, wow, the screen's really crappy on the iPhone. And I wouldn't say the phone's crap, the screen's crappy, but I also wouldn't say it's in the same class as what the Note has. And when the new Note 8 comes out, that the 4K screen is just going to be even crazier and will have even worse battery life. So let's get to the next story. And this is going to be the biggest story that we're going to talk about. And it's Google's October 4th event, which If you haven't seen, I've been doing some videos on my daily channel about the Google's October 4th event, and it's gonna be huge. They're gonna release probably huge, like Trump. um, they're gonna release a plethora of products. You've got the Pixel phones, and we can dive into these deeper afterwards. But the Pixel phones, Google Home, which is their smart speaker, which is the exact, or not the exact same, it's in the same class as the Amazon Echo,
The
which
Echo.
I have, and I actually like it a lot. I don't use it a lot for, I use it for music and asking it stupid questions and setting timers and alarms, but I really like it. Daydream VR, which is going to be built into some phones. The phone has to be able to handle it. 4K Chromecast and a new Wi-Fi router. Let's talk about the Google Pixel phones.
Well,
Go ahead.
first and foremost, I think every time Google and Apple does, their presentations, it's definitely a festive day in my household. You can quote me on that. My wife actually hates it because I will spend 2 hours watching those videos and rewinding it and like what. So yes, definitely October 4th to this next Tuesday. I will most definitely be watching to see what Google has to offer. It's going to be huge. Now, for the Pixel phones, specs wise, they're not top notch, but they are respectable. And the only thing that seems to be bugging me is they're going back to what they did with the Nexus 6, which is add a little bit of make it a little bit more expensive
Yeah.
than what it should be. But these are top notch phones. Most definitely, if you have not decided or you're not on the iPhone bandwagon or you're not and you don't want the Note 7 because it's catching fire or exploding or battery issues, definitely look at the Google Pixel and the Google Pixel XL, especially the Google Pixel XL. I think that 5.5 screen, it's just it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait for it. And the Google Pixel, reading the specs wise, we're talking about 4 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 820, 12
821, isn't it?
megapixels. No, no, no. The Google Pixel, the
Oh,
actual
the
Pixel.
regular one. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Pixel XL may have the
Yeah, I know one of them at
821.
least has the 821.
But what I want to get at is the Google Pixel has that right size. If you like the S7 size and you don't like the big phablet size, I think the Google Pixel would be the phone to definitely get on board. And granted, it will be 1080p, but 1080p does allow a longer battery life, which for a lot of people that's very
Important, yeah.
important.
Dude, I've been playing with my Nexus 6P. That thing with Nougat on it, that thing is
Hmm.
so smooth. Like OnePlus 3 is smooth too. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
But to go back to that just real plain vanilla Android and like doing multi windows, dude. Oh my
Hmm.
god! Even when my Note 7 just runs really good and fast, the multi window is a little bit clunky and it's a little tiny bit like not smooth. Even when it's running top notch, it's so dude, it's ridiculously smooth on the Note 7. And the Note 7 has a Snapdragon 810, which is no slouch, but it was one of the processors that people kind of panned because it was overheating a lot. I never had that problem with my Nexus 6P, and it only has 3 gigabytes of RAM. And dude, oh my god, it's so freaking nice. I was like playing with it. I'm like, dude, I'm ready to freaking trash this thing. Go back to the Nexus 6P. It's got dual front facing speakers. The camera's decent. It's a little bit big. That's the one thing I don't like about it. It feels really clunky in my hand, especially with the case on it. But other than
Hmm.
that, that phone is freaking awesome, dude. I was actually going to sell it, to pay for the cost of the next Nexus phone or next Google phone that I buy. But now I'm like, dude, I really like that phone. It's nice.
So, the Nexus 6P I actually gave to my
Okay.
mom. I made sure to upgrade to Nougat first, and I tested it for a little bit, and I agree with you. It is definitely gonna make these phones look
Yeah.
awesome. And uh, I I'm a little disappointed that they're not gonna have the front facing speakers, like the
Yeah.
6P with the Google Pixel. But I know the HTC has always done well when it comes to audio, so I'm expecting it to still have a great audio. And I don't, I to the contrary of a lot of people I've been hearing, they've been saying that the Pixel design isn't looks kind of ugly or something. I actually think it looks awesome. It's different. And the Nexus 6P, I remember when people first saw the renders, they were like, wow, it's such a hideous
Yeah.
phone. But when you actually had it in your hands and you saw that the hump wasn't as bad as it looked like in the 3D render, you could see how smooth it actually was. I think Google definitely knows how to wow their fans, and it's definitely going to be that if you're a tech enthusiast and you want to be the first one to get all those features that the Android OS has, you definitely need to look at
It's
it.
dude, you know what I love about it, and I can just describe it like this. When you're using it, it's like this. You just go like this. You look like a girl using your phone. You know how girls using their phones just go like this? I don't know if you can see me doing this.
Yeah.
Like they're just like real girly, but that's how you use a Nexus. You just like it's so smooth. You don't click anything. Everything's just like this. Swipe down, see your notifications, tap on it. It's just like you're friggin' a conductor conducting music. I love it, dude. And this isn't like this. This is more like the notes, like,
Wait.
and like you click on everything's like you look like a chicken eating feed.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to actually speak and tell your experience that you had last night. And
Yeah,
tell the world.
yeah, we can.
Your
So
experience with initial.
yeah, so
Focus.
we're me and Initial Focus were hanging out last night, and just using my Note 7 again. I'm so frustrated with it. So I actually reset it today, and I'm like, this is the last thing I'm doing with it. Is if it craps out again, I'm done with it. I'm done. And just using it with him last night, it was so laggy, so crappy, very very stuttery. Just everything took, and it sounds ridiculous, the age we live in, but seconds for stuff to open up. But it's just like, oh, dude, like, don't. Like, if I don't understand how somebody can say this phone is smooth and fast, because it's not. I don't. If you have the Snapdragon 820, it's shite, dude.
I want to say Note 7 when I first got it.
Yeah, when you first get it.
The first few days, it was like,
Yes.
wow, this is a game changer. And then I don't know what happened. There was no update.
Nothing happened, Joel. Nothing.
Like I had a whole bunch. I had a whole bunch of updates. No, it must be something that as a computer overheats,
Yeah.
it'll slow down. That's what I keep thinking. And you mentioned in one of your videos, it has to be probably software based, and it probably
Yeah.
is. It's probably something in the software that's not causing it to stop certain task in the background, and it's causing the phone to overheat. But most definitely, the Note 7, it has such it has such great expectations. You expected such, great things from the Note 7, but then when you got it in your hand after a few days, for some weird reason, it just slowed down. And I gotta say, going from that to the OnePlus 3,
There's no competition. They're not even in the same league. It's the OnePlus 3 is always. I've had the Note 7. I'm sorry, that phone since it came out, and it's just been nothing but speed. Nothing but speed.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, I did play with I haven't had iPhone 7 Plus, but I've been to the Apple Store, and iPhone 7 Plus is most definitely also a great phone when it comes to speed.
Yeah.
But Apple, they keep it simple, and that's why it usually runs smooth. But yeah, Note 7, what happened, Sam?
Dude, I can make a video every single week on this damn phone and say, oh, you can do this to speed it up. And I kind of did that today. And I like doing that for people, but you shouldn't have to do anything to it. Did you do anything? Maybe you turned down some of your animations, if that, on the OnePlus 3, but you didn't need to do that.
No, on my OnePlus 3, nothing. But when I did have the Note 7, I had to, I did what you did.
Yeah.
I followed your videos on that. I took off the animations, and
it still sucks. It still sucks.
Yeah, and the only way I was able to sort of, make it smooth was using the Google Now
launcher.
The Google Now launcher. But I did feel like the Google Now launcher was killing the battery even more than the the UI that the Samsung Note 7
That's
comes
why
with.
people like phones, is because they don't have to think about it. When you have to think about a phone, that you have to disable apps, you have to turn off syncing, you have to change your launcher. People don't want. That's why people don't like Android phones sometimes. It's because they have to do that. But with some phones, they don't. I think people don't realize you don't have to do that with every Android phone. Only the
Right.
Samsung phones and maybe some other crappy phones. But otherwise,
This is this is the second year I've been burned by uh
Samsung.
the Note phone because I had the Note 5
That
and it was
sucked.
working great for 2 months.
Yep.
Great for 2 months. And then on the second month my um microphone basically stopped
Oh,
working.
okay.
So you know, if I was using the phone like a regular phone, it wouldn't work. I had to, speak using the speaker, which, sometimes you really can't do that. I mean, yeah, in some occasions it's fine to do that, but if you can't use a phone as a phone, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. So the Note 5, I had that experience. And then with the Note 7, the lagginess, and I said it was a blessing in disguise when they started recalling the phone because I was like, ha, I got a perfect excuse to turn in the phone, and even I had the poor excuse to my wife like, honey, I'm sorry, but I need to get a new phone. Which anyone who knows me and her, we always go through this dilemma of I need this new phone, and she always tells me, no, you do not. You just
No,
want it.
you do need it.
Um,
Let's jump back to the Google October 4th event. Google Home's coming out. I'm excited
yes.
about that, but I
Yeah.
kind of think that the Echo is going to be better than it for at least 6 months. I feel like it's going to be. Do you have an Echo?
No, and the reason I don't have an Echo is because I really don't see a need in this apartment. Because there's nothing that I can connect it to. I don't have central air, so I don't, need to have it connected to a Nest thermostat. I don't have, the smart lights or anything like that. So, and also since I'm renting, I'm not, it's not my home. I don't want to invest in purchasing all these things to make my home, tech friendly. uh, that's why I haven't purchased it because I really
Are
don't
you
see a need.
are you going to get a Google Home, or are you not interested in it at all either?
So I think I will get a Google Home over Amazon. And the only reason I think is because it's cheaper,
Yeah,
and
129.
B, I think I probably use more Google services than anything.
Yeah.
And the good thing about Google, which is, come on, Apple, you got to do something about this. It works, with multi OSs. It's
Yeah.
not just, with their own
That's what I
OS.
love about. That's one thing I don't like about the Amazon Echo, is that you can't ask it a lot of questions. Like, I can't be like, it knows some stuff. Like if I said, "Hey, how old is Abraham Lincoln?" It knows that kind of stuff. But if I go kind of more in depth, and it can give me some sports scores and stuff, but Google can definitely do a lot more than the Amazon Echo can do. I'll definitely probably purchase one. I have one. I have the Echo in my master bedroom. I'll probably put the Google Home downstairs because sometimes, honestly, I'm thinking in my head like I don't want to grab my phone. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I just want to ask something, a question, and I can't because downstairs I don't have an Echo. So I think I will pick up a Google Home just to try it, obviously, and then obviously because you're right, it's 129, which is not a bad price at all. So
Hmm.
that's good. We'll both pick it up and we can obviously give each other's thoughts on that. Daydream VR, which is Google's going to be built into Google's VR headsets and controllers, and some of the smartphone manufacturers will enable it in their phones as well. I don't know if I'm hoping that, which it probably will. The Google Pixel XL, I assume, will probably have this so that it's Daydream ready. But ultimately, it's supposed to make VR a little bit better looking, a little bit more easy to use, which is cool. Other than that, I don't know what else we could say about it because we've only seen a small little demo about it last a few months back. But do you have anything to add on the Google Daydream VR?
So I mentioned it a couple of episodes ago on your TekBloid channel, or no, I think it was one of your Sunday channels. Um, I get dizzy when I use
Oh, okay,
VR.
yeah,
Um, it's weird because I never really get dizzy on any rides or anything like that. But when the few times I have used Google, I mean, not Google. I've used VR and I felt dizzy. Like at the end, I just wanted to puke. So
That's a
I
real
don't
man.
necessarily. Yeah, I'm being
Yeah,
truthful.
yeah.
I don't. Yes, I think VR is awesome, the technology, but I think I'm more interested in not VR. What is it called?
Oh, where you can see like words and picture, augmented reality.
Augmented
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, augmented realities I think is definitely the place to go. I mean, you can see how Pokemon has catch fire, and my wife is texting me, and apparently I need to get closer to the mic. Can you guys not hear me
You sound fine.
right
I
on
think you
the
sound fine.
okay.
So yeah, Daydream VR. We should know more about it October 4th. Man, these dogs, they want to be on the camera. 4K Chromecast. Tell me your thoughts about the 4K Chromecast.
Well, okay, I wrote this on your video that you posted not too long ago. I think 4K, if you have a 4K TV, right? Why do you need this? Because 4K TVs already come with, the smart uh they already come with all these smart apps. So, do you really need, if you have a 4K TV, do you really need to add the Chromecast to that? I don't think so. I think anyone who has a 4K TV, they already have the apps that have 4K. And what the reason why the Chromecast has been awesome is for those people who have the early 1080p TVs that do not have access to all the smart things. So at $69, I don't think it's going to be that good.
I don't.
That's just my own
I
personal
don't
opinion.
think I'm gonna pick one up. I already have a couple of NVIDIA Shield TVs, and I don't even Chromecast that much
Right,
now, and I can't see myself doing it
right,
now. I do have Chromecast as well, but again, I don't use them. So I am not that excited about the Chromecast 4K. I like that they have the option to get it, but $69 is actually kind of expensive. You can buy a Xiaomi or whatever how you say it, a smart TV box for $60, and it does more than this, and you can Chromecast to it. So I don't get the $69 just to Chromecast. To me, it's stupid. It's too expensive.
yeah. I mean, the regular Chromecast, was it $30?
35,
That's
but you can get it for you can get it for some. I've got one. I've gotten them for $25. So
so.
it's way too
So you
expensive.
don't cast. So you don't cast your 4K TV in 4K. Boo
Yeah.
boo. Okay, but you still get 1080p, which is, it's not like 1080p is
No,
horrible or
it's
anything like
not.
that. I think
It's not the difference between 480p and 1080p, 1080p versus 4K. It's 1080p to 4K in real life situations. You probably could trick a lot of people and they wouldn't even know. I
right.
think.
Most
New
definitely.
Wi-Fi router just to round out the October 4th event. Again, I have a router. I'm not that excited about this. The cool thing about this is I guess it's gonna bridge. What I heard is it's gonna bridge these Google routers across networks so that you basically have one giant network. I don't know how like your local provider is gonna like that, because if people are using your data to access the internet, and plus other people in your neighborhood need to have this router too. I can't see this taking off unless you're in like New York or like a really condensed area. It's cool. I like the idea. I don't think it's going to take off. 129 for a solid router though is definitely, especially brand new, is awesome. Anything you want to add about the router?
The router you really don't need. I mean, it's not going to give you that much. I, I don't know. It's,
Yeah.
if you want to get it, I think. But on hub, if you have on hub, there's no need to change to this router. And if you have a solid router that has AC, you don't need to upgrade. If you, in my personal
Right.
opinion, I usually go every year and a half and buy me a new router just in case, just to make sure I keep up with the highest standards. But that's me. I'm not the normal person. Um, when I talk to people, I just tell them just make sure it has AC.
He's talking air
And you can find
conditioning.
it. No, the standard AC, not
So,
because I still see people. Some people still buy the N standard, which is like 5-year old, technology,
yeah.
and I tell them just make sure that your Google router, your router has the AC standard, and you should be fine. Most people don't want all these cool features. They just want a connection, a wireless connection in their home. So No, I don't think there's a need for it. It's cool that they'll have it. It's just like with the Apple's AirPort Extreme. It's cool to have, but do you really need to spend that extra money for it? No, I don't really think so.
So that wraps up the October 4th event. Follow my channel. I will be doing videos on this all throughout the week, especially if news stories break. I do a daily news story every single day, so make sure, again, you subscribe to my channel and visit it. Make sure you do that. If you want to, the phone lines are now open. If you want to give us a call to talk tech, we'll leave it open for a little bit here. The phone number is 619-721-3699. You can text questions to us well at 619-721-3699. You can leave questions in the chat. We'll answer them. It's open to everybody. No worries about your questions. We will answer it. If it's a how-to or a suggestion or advice, whatever you need, we're here. Hey, so Joel, you have a channel. What do you do tech? What would you say you specialize in tech, or is it just a smorgasbord of everything?
I haven't really found my niche, I guess, just yet.
We got a call. Sorry.
Really interrupted, but.
Hey, what's going on, Mash?
What's up?
Well, what's going on, dude? I saw you texted a question here. You got.
I'm just watching the stream right now. It is amazing.
Thank
Something
you.
I have to say right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Goddamn amazing.
Well, so what do you got going on today? What's your questions?
My question is I know this is gonna drift from another topic.
Yeah.
Wait, can you wait up a bit? All right. So I have a question. What do you think about if Apple made a iPhone 6 SE, they have iPhone 7 specs, but they put a headphone jack and it's kind of better.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than the 7. What do you think about that?
So do you mean smaller too, the way the SE is, 4-inch screen, or do you mean the same size screen, 4.7?
Yeah.
I honestly think people are past the point of buying a 4-inch phone. I don't think most of the people, Joel says he disagrees, but I don't think most people are going to buy that phone. I think some people will, but I think the majority of people are in the 5-inch. I think the sweet spots are the 5-inch type phone screen, or 4.7, all the way up to the big screens like 5.5, 5.7. Those are the sweet spots right now. I don't see 4-inch screens getting big anymore, unless it's for a little kid maybe, and a little kid wants it, or
like me.
Well, yeah, you do vlog. Are you the vlogger?
What do you mean the vlogger?
Do you do a vlog channel?
No, I don't do vlogs.
Oh, okay, not you. So yeah, I think most people, like I said, it's going to be for kids or teenagers. I don't think people 20 and up will want it.
I also have another question. Do you think Samsung phones are getting above Apple's product phones?
The specs you mean?
Samsung is doing better than Apple.
Yeah, I think that.
By the way,
I think that Samsung is pushing the envelope more than Apple, but I also think that, and you know what? I actually see a lot of my friends and family are leaving Apple now to go to Android, and when they go to Android, they go to Samsung. So I think there is a big push for Samsung actually in the next year, especially if they clear everything up with the Note 7 in terms of the fire issue. I think that more people are going to jump over to Samsung now more than ever and leave Apple, because Apple's just boring them to hell right now.
That is true.
What do you have? But Mash, what do you have for a phone right now?
I have the iPhone 5S. I'm happy with this phone.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 12.
Okay, so you're 12 years old, iPhone 5S. And now, if someone gave you $1,000, but you had to buy a phone, what phone are you going to buy?
I would personally, I would buy the iPhone 6S. One, I'm choosing Apple because their things are very smooth. I mean, you can you're talking about the Note 7 right now. If I were to buy the Note 7, it would lag like hell.
Yeah.
And one, I have another thing that's it might explode. Because you see a lot of the news, the Note 7 is exploding. I don't want a phone that is going to explode when I'm near it.
Right, of course. Yeah, it's scary, man. I mean, it's cool that you're being open-minded. You're not just saying, "Oh, I only like Apple," but at least you're keeping your mind open to Android, which is a good thing, because if once you close your mind, like a lot of people do to a device, you kind of don't see what's out there. And I'm glad you do see what's out there still. So it's cool. Did you have any other questions?
I also, actually, wait. I also have one question.
Okay.
You know what? Never mind.
Ask it, dude. Ask it.
I'm sorry, I kind of forgot one.
Oh, okay.
Can I think of one at least?
What's that?
Well, I want.
Can
Wait.
I think of one?
Joel has a question. I don't. He won't be able to hear you.
But
you can. Joel's gonna talk and just pretend you're listening to him. Okay, Mash. There he goes. He's gonna start talking. It'll be good for the live show.
I do want to say one thing. The iPhone 6 SE. Now, I think that would be a great thing to do, but I don't foresee.
Let me do this, Joel. I can do that. Oh no, it's gonna pick it up. Say it one more time. I'll do it again. So what did you say? The iPhone 7.
No,
Oh wait, no, he's talking. Sorry, no, she's talking.
The first
Sorry.
question that I said.
This is a shit show right now. Well, whatever. Okay, so Mash.
I'm sorry, my stream is like 5 seconds away.
Yeah, I know. Well, Mash, thank you for calling, buddy. I appreciate your call. Definitely call in again. And
You know what? Thank you so much. I'm a very big fan, and thanks for answering my questions.
No problem. How'd you find me?
I called you.
No. How'd you find my channel? How'd you find my channel?
How did I find my channel? I really got into tech about phones.
Uh-huh.
And then I decided to find this amazing channel. I was like, oh my god. Actually, to tell the truth, I was looking at NVIDIA stuff.
Yeah.
I found your first thing. I found the NVIDIA Shield.
Uh-huh.
And I was blown away by the content.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Content is actually amazing.
Thank you, man.
Props to you, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Don't change, dude.
All right.
Keep your mind open and keep growing.
Thank you.
All right, later, brother.
Have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
Peace out.
Peace.
All right, what I wanted to say is there is a market for those 4-inch phones, and the market is for those parents that want to give their kids a phone.
Yeah.
And that's where I've seen a lot of these iPhone SEs. And if it had the iPhone 7 specs in a small 4-inch phone, it would be awesome. Now, I do not foresee them doing it first and foremost.
I don't think they will either. I think.
And if they did, they probably would still take away the microphone.
Yeah, they would do a lot of crap to it.
I mean, not the microphone, the headphone jack. Let's be honest. They're getting away from the headphone jack. They're really trying to get away from the headphone jack, and they're just gonna not have that. Oh, look, Tobin's online.
Tobin, give us a call, dude. I think he's at the airport.
Please. Oh,
yeah.
really?
If the phone lines are open, if you guys want to call in, it's 619-721-3699. We'll try to get one of you guys can call. Otherwise, Tobin's going to call in. So make sure somebody calls in. We're going to see what he's doing. I don't think he can call us, actually, if he's on board. Oh, he's waiting to board. He probably won't call us. So this week for content for my channel, I'll probably be doing... I have to get my hands on an iPhone. You know what I'm doing? I'm actually doing a review on a Zero Lemon battery for an S7 Edge. So I'll have my review out for that either this weekend or probably Monday.
Is it bulky?
It's kind of big, but they're always kind of big, man. But Zero Lemon usually makes really nice stuff, so I'm expecting good things from it. Other than that, keep doing my daily news. If you guys have any questions, you can always text us. Let me just check. Oh, there was one question in here actually from the text. I forgot. So the question is, even if iPhone gets crazy specs, wouldn't it still be outdated? And that's from Miker. What do you think?
I'm going to defend Apple here.
Oh my God! Well, you're like Tobin, dude. What the hell's going on here?
No,
I'm joking.
I'm middle in the road type of guy. But I'm going to defend the Apple's approach on this because they do like to keep it simple, and by keeping it simple, they're able to keep a smooth environment. And you can't just have any app go on the App Store, and they control it that way. Now, I understand that you may feel, well, then they take away a lot of things that the user could do, and that's true. But in all essence, iPhone always runs smooth. So even though it'll have less specs, specs is not everything, and programmers can tell you that in particular. If you have an environment and you program it specifically for that environment, which is what Apple does, then you won't have any issues with it. And so that's my approach with this. It's not look, he's gonna board. Safe flight.
Yeah, have a safe flight, brother. We love you. No, it's. I think either way. I think iPhone 7 is always going to be a step behind spec wise, but its specs aren't always everything, as you can tell. I'm frustrated with my Note 7 at the moment, and it's spec's got every spec you could want except for 6 gigabytes of RAM and whatever. It just is pisses me off. Other than that, guys, I don't think we have any more calls or anything. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, write down below. What do you guys think about how I did? Hopefully, I'll have any time that either Greggles or Mike Tobin is out.
Yeah.
Whether they be sick or whatnot, I can fill in. I would love to do it. But anyways, just write down below. Subscribe to Greggles. Obviously, he's a great guy. He's very approachable, and thank you specifically for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, man. I'm glad. I threw it out there, and right off the bat, you jumped on it. I know you might even jumped on it before I even asked. So I appreciate that, man. You got to be aggressive. If you want something, kids, go for it. Don't be a little puss. Go for it. If you get denied, who cares? That's going to be the biggest sting, is someone saying no, and that's not that bad. So go for what you really want for it and try. And just if you fail, you fail. If you don't, then you look at you're successful and you can be happy in life. That sounds like my Maury's Minute right there, Maury Povich. You don't remember Maury Povich?
Hey, shout out to Brian Gironi. He's actually in the Army. He's in Georgia right now. Hey man, always nice talking to you. I wish you would have called. But...
So guys, thanks so much. Follow Joel Rivera. I'll link his channel in below. Make sure you follow me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I will answer them, and I assume Joel will probably jump in there too, since he's part of this podcast today. We'll see you guys. Let me get my finger down before I say it. One sec. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.